Indie of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
And this week, it's LED Adventure Miniatures. So, people may or may not be aware of the LED Adventure Forum, which has been running for years. Got hosted. It was by Nick from North Star, like a ween of years ago.
Oh wow!
Because it was gonna go away, and it was like, you know what, I don't want this to go away. And it is a home for gamers of all ilks, whether it's historic or sci-fi or fantasy. You'll find something in there that will interest and excite you. And in there are also talented fellows who have done a lot of sculpting, and you often see people going, "Oh, I've just done this for my army," because you can't get X, Y, or Z. And then so many people are going, "Oh, that's great. Can I buy one?" Oh, no, I'm trying to sculpt it for me. You can't. So off the back of that, there are several sculptors who've been doing a lot of stuff, and then we're either getting small releases through other companies or doing small runs themselves, and it was a bit difficult to get their hands on stuff. So Professor Wichheimer, probably Wichheimer because he's German, or Alex, with Ratnik, spun off the LED Adventure Miniatures about a dozen years ago now, and has been adding to it ever since. And it's a delight. And I'm not entirely certain how we haven't come around to this one beforehand. I know partly we haven't come around to it because there's quite a lot in it, and I keep going, oh, we need it for like a period when we can really explore it in all its many facets. But Ratnik is Alex stuff, and then there's a few other pieces from other members of the LED Adventure Forum. So sci-fi, fantasy, and Victorian sci-fi, or steampunks, as people like to think of it. I'm going to start with the Tottings because they don't have an image up front, and a lot of people therefore skip them by, and you don't want to skip them because they're a lovely bunch of things. I'm not sure what you would call them. They're little fat halfling / hobbity type affairs with a very Dickensian / feel to them. You know, if you wanted to play sharp out as a fat halfling, you could do it with the Tollstings.
You could do. Yeah.
They feel like those collectibles that you always used to see when you were in school. You know, the little egg hatching rounded duck things. They kind of have that kind of vibe about them. Yeah. Maybe I'm completely wrong and just completely off the mark. I'm trying to be Justin, but I shouldn't be.
The bases kind of remind me of in the collectible vein, you know, the little bobble-headed football players you used to get?
Ooh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. But reversed.
Yeah.
I love them. Yeah. I mean,
they're really well done. I like those.
Imagine breaking out Silver Bayonet and having these little munchkin fellows attempting to stop a werewolf twice their size.
Yeah, these would be really cool if you were putting them together with the stuff that. Oh, what are they called? They're the folks that do the Nog in the Nog range. The Toy Soldier Company.
Little
Toy Soldier Company. Which one was it? Little Soldier Company. That's the one. Yes, they're doing like a range of sort of squat little Napoleonic fellows, which I think would be really nice to put alongside these. Actually, that'd be a really nice addition. Yeah,
but they are just absolutely baffling, and I love them. Yeah. I wonder if the Tolsting is some sort of Tolstoy.
It might be actually. Yeah.
Thing because he looks like a Russian.
He does, yeah.
Look at the mutton chops on that fella. Anyway, so yes, Tolstings, small, perfectly formed. Don't want to miss out on them. The Dwarves. Oh, Ben, you're not going to like the Dwarves.
This is the range that I remember them from, because when I started working with beasts and doing news and stuff for them, well, for you guys, for us, this was the range that I remember seeing popping up all the time. It was like every week there'd be new set of dwarves that would come out, or every couple of weeks, and you'd be like, oh, that'd be fantastic if you were using these to represent, you know, your dwarves in your Warhammer Fantasy games and all that kind of good stuff. They're just so full of character, and I One of the things I always say about dwarves, if you get the beards right, you've nailed the miniatures. And I think in most cases, the beards look amazing. So they count.
Oh, they've all been conditioned, highly conditioned.
Oh, yeah. Lovely ringlets.
Yeah. And the thing is, because obviously this is 2023, he said, checking the calendar to make sure. Some of these ranges,
just in case it's actually the initial ones next year.
Yeah, that kicked off back in 2010. So some of them have had 13 years. Other ones are more recent. But it means that there's a fairly substantial amount of things in the range. Look at Goblin Berserkers, you say. Sorry, Goblin Bearers. That makes more sense. But look, there's something in a sack. Hit it with your mace.
Exactly. Yeah. It's being dragged into the hold by a nefarious goblin.
Can't trust them. Thieving goblins.
Yeah.
Filling themselves up with all the nutritious things that they could find to eat in the dwarf's quarters and stealing all their mining tools as well.
Yeah.
How do you confuse a goblin? Put 3 spades in a corner and tell him to take his pick. But a boom. Anyway.
Awful.
That is amazing, and you know it. Absolutely amazing. This is a nice little feature as well that they have thrown in, which is the supplemental bits. And some of the ranges have more than others. But, there's a set of 4 candles. Candles for me folk. Or the little treasure bits.
Amazing. Yeah.
And those are really nice just to have as base accessories, or put them on a base individually and then use them for objective markers as well. Including that crazy looking stone statue and range of busts. Say range of busts, they may actually just be things that sit on a table and then a dwarf just puts his helmet on it at night. Helmet stand.
A helmet stand, yeah. Well, you could do it as like an armor stand as well, potentially. That could be kind of cool. Yeah.
The choice is yours. Prospectress and Torchbearer. So yeah, the dwarves are delightful, even when they're thieving a dragon's egg. Or playing to the balcony. Run away. I mean, that's not going to end well for anyone. And if they're planning on making an omelette, they'll need their pickaxes.
Yes, very true.
Because that's going to be tricky to get into. As anybody's ever opened an ostrich egg will know. May as well take a hammer and chisel to it. Dwarf Rat Blues. That's very Pratchett. I imagine he's out looking for lunch. Back with a bag full of rats. Ketchup costs extra. So yeah. Dwarves are all delightful. We'll stick with the fantasy before we go anywhere else. So have a look at Brugelberg. And these are your more fantasy citizens. Doing anything from populating a town to fighting the good fight, or to trumpeting. Look at that. Master of the Butcher's Guild with accompanying squire trumpeting him into the room. Like the sausage on a fork. Heraldry as well. It's a good look.
You see a little bit of reverse Moonstone aesthetic going on here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of looks like, Moonstone took maybe some of this as a touch of inspiration to it.
It's that
sort of Germanic
comic
fantasy kind of thing going on there as well. I think it's quite cool. Yeah.
Everybody loves a massive flamberge and a spoon. So more from the Butcher's Guild, doing the butcher's own work. Maudline. It's all right, it's not painted yet.
Yep.
Market woman with many wheels of cheeses. So what else we got lurking in here? We've paupers and we've jesters. But I notice one of them seems to have crossed over from one to the other.
A lot of really good sort of table filler.
Great for dioramas and great for skirmish games set in towns and stuff like that. A word and jest. You too can get hit over the head with a motley. Nobody wants that. They might want that. They're not getting that. Have a quick look down towards the bottom. I like him. He's very good if you plan on doing Dogs of War or Empire for Warhammer. Because, I mean, that's very just good. Screaming off the deep end. I've got all the money.
The most amazing Elector Count.
Well, that's still Marius Leitdorf, but the second most amazing Elector Count. Good look on him. And there's one of the previous foot-based Master of the Butcher's Guild, now updone with his horse. Sausages as the reins in links, sausage heraldry on the front, crossed fork. It's great. Everything about this is absolutely insane. And I also appreciate the fact that they've done it all in yellow and black as well. Best colours. Best colours to do. So yeah, Brugelberg has a whole host of fantasy nonsense, which would be right up anybody's street for Mordheim and Warhammer and anything else, all points in between. Ninth Age heroes as well. You can get a lot of them in here. And as you can see, it does go on somewhat. There's some commando. We'll have a look at commandos before we run away. Hello, Metal Militia Command. That man has got a lot of riveting going on. That man is going to hurt somebody when he punches them.
Or fall over on them.
Or fall over on them, yeah. Either way works. It's all good in the hood. So, disappearing from the fantasy. Actually, we'll go fantasy adjacent. You're talking about what we think of fantasy when people were telling stories. So Arabian Nights is probably one of the most well-known of those style of fantasy stories. And these have got a look all of their own with the Noressiman Knights. And he's a Grand Vizier. And as we learned from Pratchett, the minute you give somebody the title Grand Vizier, they turn into a complete bastard. Don't know what it is. Give a man a turban with a pointy bit in the top of it, and they just start hanging people up by their thumbs. And again, that really fun side of fantasy, the sort of the Pratchett-esque meets Warhammer Old World. You can see them running about the place. Wise men of the East, very appropriate for the time of year. Only 2 of them.
Have them bringing some interesting gifts. Yes.
Like
you rolled to see what they are.
We all agreed there was a minimum and a maximum. Nobody had any need to turn up with gold. No, I was just taking the piss. You're making everybody else look bad.
Are you doing Secret Savior this year?
You 2 can get cuisine of the finest type.
There's a lot of old school charm in all this as well.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember this is around 2011. Some of the pictures have been saying it's like I had just left for uni, so all the stuff was brand spanking new and like really friggin' cool back in the day.
Yeah.
Look, they've got magic
that's
carpet.
A really nice magic carpet. I like that. Yeah.
And just like the dwarves, if I go down, deeper and down, and start rocking the Casbah, there's also some little goods and trinkets and bits. Look, it's one of those stuffed elephant things.
Yeah.
Spices everywhere. And court musicians. In like Flynn, playing his 1-string fiddle there. Good for all the family. So, yes.
They are very nice. It's the kind of stuff that will be really good for people doing role play stuff. I know you would say otherwise, Jerry, but I think it's a great little selection of stuff for people to make characters and create interesting scenes on the tabletop. But then obviously use them in your skirmish games as well and drop them into those.
Well, speaking of skirmish, the post-apocalyptic tunnel type people Ash Waste Nomad / Mad Max. You two can have all the fun of the fair, butchering your way through a whole host of mutant radioactive zone dogs. And why would you not? I mean, look at them. I'd shoot them if they came towards me, even if they were saying things like, please, we're hungry, we need food.
Mm.
You know, you're too radioactive for my liking.
Too heavily armed for this.
No, that's just to get rid of the rats. The size of the rats in the post-apocalyptic future is just ridiculous. That's why you have street judges as well. Combat shields a go-go. We'll ask the question. That street judge appears to be rocking a silence pistol.
Mm.
Maybe they're not the good guys either.
Maybe.
Just can't tell. That's the delight of the post-apocalypse.
Or if you're a Modern Warfare 3 fan, apparently you can get a silenced crossbow.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Mm.
These are particularly fun. Have a quick look. See, I told you, mutant radioactive zombie things. Stay away from the children of the zone. But for anybody who's a fan of Tintin, you two can have Tintin, Haddock, Snowy at the end. There's the professor. And the... I'm trying to remember the twins. What were they called? Two brothers.
I can't remember.
I'm going to call them the Charlton brothers. I know they're not that.
It was something like that, though, wasn't it?
It was like Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah.
But that's also baby shampoo, so I can't be entirely certain that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've got that, and you've also got the contaminated seas. Now, I mean, Captain Ahab and friends, why is he using a swordfish-type nose as a weapon? Well, actually, we know why he's using it, because it's bloody dangerous. But they're a frightening look. If they showed up on Waterworld with Kevin Costner, he wouldn't have been pissing in a bottle. He'd been pissing his pants. Anyway, there's an arms seller and a rat catcher and dead people. Everybody loves dead people. Look, Justin's had to sell guns to make ends meet in the future.
That's the kind of thing he'd do, I think.
That is true.
I don't know. Not to be harsh on him or anything. I think he just curl up and die.
It's the kind of thing he'd want to do.
It's what in his head, this is what he's doing.
It's an aspirational apocalypse.
In our head, we're all Negan, but in reality, we're already walkers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say he's selling guns there, but what he's actually got in his hands is
an RPG rocket and a grenade.
Bomb. Yeah, so that's false advertising there.
That's definitely a Justin thing.
Is trading standards still a thing in the future? Post-apocalypse. Fill your boots with a rat.
Yeah. Fill
your belly with a rat. Dead people. Poor dead stalkers. So, I mean, for Zone Alpha fans and stuff like that, there's a wealth of stuff in here. See, giant rats, size of badgers, take your legs straight off. And it wouldn't be Christmas without contaminated Santa. Going from house to house on Christmas Eve and filling a sack with whatever stuff you've got in there. And if you get out of bed, you get shot.
I feel a lot of this could fit into Fallout Wasteland Warfare as well.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously the gun aesthetics are different, but I mean, the general vibe is right.
So yes, the post-apocalypse is a terrible, terrible place. A much nicer place to play is Victoriana. So they've got sort of two sets that drop into here quite nicely, the Heroes and Villains, and then the Steampunky set. So these are just absolutely delightful. They're proper, Dickensian sci-fi steampunk. A little bit woo, a little bit weird. The geezers. Yeah, I think he's a chimney sweep. That's why he has grappling hooks so he can get up there.
He doesn't use ladders.
No.
Fish the children out of the chimneys.
Yeah. Would this have been the era of kind of like Volsung being as big as it was and stuff? I guess it would.
Yeah, Volsung would have been coming in, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, these were, as you can see, denizens of the smog. Mm-hmm. Remember, smog was and smog raiders and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately,
I
think they've all gone away these days. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Inspector Semaphore and Constable Chopham. I mean, would you report a crime to them? Is it more likely that they've committed the crime on you? I think so.
Or are about to.
Yeah. Night fighting ladies. And Bonnie and Clyde.
Ooh, the steam horses are cool.
Yeah, I want to see the horses.
Yeah.
Don't do anything for you. Clippity clop.
It's Commissar Yarrick on a mechanical steam.
Oh yeah.
Steampunk Yarrick.
Wonder if he's stolen that off some kind of steampunky gremlin or something. Yeah.
Could have happened.
Oh, that's cool as well. I love that.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Love the reeling.
It's something you always see in cosplay stuff, people playing around with like steampunk version of X or and so it's good. I always like seeing that in miniature form as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
something that Twisted do really well, or Demented Games do really well.
Yeah. The Twisted line's spanking.
Mm.
Hoping to see more from them next year. The event slowed things down somewhat for them. So, Rise of the Ottomans, including Chemical Squads. So, yeah, some interesting steampunky bits and pieces. Look at that.
Proper flamboyant there.
It's a fantastic fez.
That is lovely. Yeah.
The Chemical Squad. Don't trust them. Keep them arm's length. Paint them up like Zouaves. They look good. They look very good. So that's our Victorian sci-fi, but the heroes and villains are similar, although more sort of standalone character models. So still that steampunk Victorian sci-fi feel to them, but without being as rigidly Victoriana, I suppose.
That's a terrifying needle.
Oh, I mean, that's fantastic. Presumably it doesn't come with that needle. You have to insert that yourself. And just like all my other things, it would draw blood on a regular basis. So, par for the course. There's Assistant Oleg. He makes sure that you stay under when the nurse is administering to you.
Yeah.
He does that via a mallet.
Very nice.
The field experiment, Zed.
Just Zed.
Yeah, just Zed. Just Zed.
Yeah.
Don't worry about him. The professor reckons he can probably keep him on track. So, I mean, it's just a gorgeous set of madness.
It really is.
A couple of Nosferatu, handy for people playing a whole host of games at the moment. If you need a little creepy Nosferatu to lurk in the corner.
Well, again, a lot of this aesthetic plays into the likes of 7TV and that kind of ilk of game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just a range looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
I'm sure that means something. I'm not getting it, though. All I can think of is a mixture of Blind Fury and the Hitchhiker with Rukar.
It's just younger Ron Perlman with a really big cat.
Could be that.
True.
Please stop sending me this.
Astropolis is such a good little range as well.
Yeah, see. Why have we not been here before? Is it because there's always something else?
I think we may have flirted with it at one point, or perhaps it was so far away a long time ago in a galaxy that we may have completely forgotten. But yeah, they're so good. Yeah,
love them. They look like something that you would see in 40s and 50s sci-fi. Love these though. They look too competent to be in any science fiction from that era. Although that may still be a monkey. Put a chimp in it, it'll be fine. Like Battlestar Galactica. Go ahead and put a chimp
in one and a duck in the other one. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, the
mechanics.
The robot dog in Battlestar Galactica was played by a chimp in a suit.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Don't think you get away with it these days.
Yeah, no.
Poor old
Your spaceship
monkey.
mechanics. Good for a little bit of
Stargrave?
core space stuff or Stargrave. Yeah. There's also that, is it the Colony 87 range that 7TV do? You could mix these in with those very nicely, I think. So
you could. then you would miss out on some things. These minion-looking oxbots, bound to have a use for those.
Yeah.
Not sure what. Well, I'll find one.
Yeah.
Again,
objective markers.
Objective markers are a good default.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those swamp diggers are just very wrong. Not right. What's happening? Why is he floating? They all float down here. Just have him drifting along like he's in 0G, just gently, creepily, or maybe hanging off the ceiling.
Put him on a little flight stand.
Yeah.
Maybe they use the swamp gases to hover through or something. Yeah.
But I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's Jodorowsky levels of insanity.
It really is.
That big disc full of cabling going straight into his face. And why? No reason. It's just an aesthetic choice he made, because in the future, body modification, it's all, ear piercings. So 1,000 years ago, just plug 20 pipes straight into my face instead. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll be happier for us.
I too wish to not navigate doors correctly.
Kroglogs.
Kroglogs.
Yeah.
You just have to get up and poke them in the eyes. Do you do that by standing very still right in front of them in that dead space where they can't see you?
Giving off some Hitchhikers Go to the Galaxy vibes. Yeah.
It's all good in the hood. And other little weird and wonderful things. We'll finish off with these little doohickeys. See who's coming home. More strange, bug-eyed Krorlock things. Dad's just come home from doing door-to-door salesman in a galaxy. That's a long old route.
I've been going to planet, and everyone keeps closing their hyperloops on me.
And the Twinkies, delightful little creepy baby things.
Amazing.
It's very Galaxy Quest. Maybe they're the miners. Yeah, sure. That'd be
miners, not miners.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like
to think of them as being absolutely terrifying. Like they're so small, but they will rip your face off, like the bunny from like Holy Grail and stuff. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's the only way to do it is just get in and batter everybody to hell and back. But so there we go. The LED Adventure Miniatures range. They do come out of Germany, so fine for people in the EU, fine for people in Northern Ireland. Sucks to be you in Great Britain. You can still get them, you just have to pay more. Anyway, right, enough of that. Time for some news.